On tonight's edition of The Overtime, Flagstaff football had an impressive win last week. Can they keep it up tonight? Will Coconino Football be able to snag a win against region rivals Prescott? And NAU Football is coming off of a big win. Will they be able to continue their success homecoming weekend? Thank you for joining us and welcome to the edition of The Overtime, Northern Arizona's only sports show. I'm your host, Lauren Hunt. We have a packed show for you tonight with a lot of local sports action, and joining me is sports reporter Cordero. Cordero, how are you doing tonight?
We are doing fantastic. We have a lot of action-packed sports tonight.
Well, let's get the show started and hit our first topic of the night, Flagstaff football. Cordero, what do you think the Eagles did to dominate during their game last Friday night?
Well, Lauren, the Flagstaff Eagles were ready to come out and do their thing on the football field against Lee Williams. After coming off a pair of losses, the Eagles offense came out focused and ready with Christian Singleton, who ran for a pair of touchdowns for the Eagles to add to the score, making it 19-0. Coming into the second half with the score 25-7, the Eagles held onto the momentum and added on the latest score to give the team some distance between Lee Williams. This game was a great win for the Eagles as they move on and prepare for their next opponent.
I would have to agree with you, Cordero. The Eagles came out strong and played excellent against the Lee Williams Volunteers, winning 32-7. Like you mentioned, Flagstaff quarterback Christian Singleton had an impressive performance. He ran for 2 touchdowns and threw for 2 as well. That was Flagstaff's second region win, putting them at 2-1 within the Grand Canyon region. The Eagles will have their last game tonight against the number 16 Mingus Union Mariners inside of the Walk-Up Skydome. Now heading over to the other side of town, Coconino football suffered a tough loss last Friday night. Why do you think Coconino had such a hard time against the Bears?
Well, Lauren, the Coconino Panthers knew that this game was going to be a tough one, and they had to come out here and have high momentum. Now, their offense did come alive during the team's final 2016 game on their home field. In this game against the Bradshaw Mountain Bears, the Panthers held them to a 26-20 score as the Panthers went into halftime just down by 6 points. Recapping the first half, the Panthers had penalty problems early in the game but managed to overcome them and put some points on the board. But as they came out to start that third quarter, the momentum was in the hands of the Bears, as the Panthers committed a handful of turnovers, leading the Bears to capitalize on these opportunities and turn them into touchdowns. Now, the Panthers have a great opportunity to bounce back from this loss and a chance this season to turn it around as they play Prescott Badgers on the road.
Yes, Cordero, Coconino did have quite a difficult time against the Bears, making the loss even harder as it was their homecoming night. They really haven't had it easy this season either, as their 32 points on Friday was only their second highest scoring game this season. This loss leaves them at 1-2 in the Grand Canyon region and 2-5 overall. They do have a chance to tack on another region win, though, tonight against the 4-3 Prescott Badgers, as long as they control the ball and keep the momentum on their side throughout the entire game. Now, let's take a look at NAU athletics. Women's soccer returns home this week to continue Big Sky play. But first, Cordero, how do you think the Jacks performed against Northern Colorado last week?
Well, the Lumberjacks knew that this game was going to be a handful as the Northern Colorado Bears entered the game with a 5-0 home record. But this did not slow down NAU with the opening of the first half, as Lindsey Doyle and Adrian Nix combined for 7 of the Lumberjacks' 9 first-half looks. But the Bears managed to take a 1-0 lead in the 25th minute as they continue to keep the momentum of the game. As penalty kicks have seemed to plague the Lumberjacks, in the 38th minute, the Bears went up 2-0 after a foul was called deep into Lumberjack territory. And Northern Colorado's Mario Gutierrez walked away with the league best of her 8th goal of 2016. In the second half, the Lumberjacks did not back down offensively and picked up 2 penalty kicks along the way. But the Bears had a better luck finishing and scored their goal in the 68th minute to go up 3-0.
Definitely, the Northern Colorado Bears are a team to be reckoned with as they have an 8-5 overall record. Plus, away games are never easy for any team, and to add on to the intimidation for the Jacks, the Bears are now 6-0 at home after the win against NAU. Coach Andre Luciano was really happy with the way the Jacks shut down their forwards and midfielders, but is aware that there's still plenty they need to improve on. The ladies now move on to homecoming weekend as they face the 6-5-3 Montana Grizz. And lastly, homecoming is in the air, which means it's time to head down to the gridiron. Cordero, how's Big Sky play shaping up for the Jacks?
Well, to start things off, NAU's first points were from a 37-yard field goal made by freshman Griffin Roller in the second to go up 3-0. Now to fast forward a bit to the fourth quarter where the Lumberjacks defense was phenomenal. Now, Montana State was moving the ball up the field in the last minute of the game with ease until NAU's Supelianu snuck in for his third sack and second forced fumble of the game. And right behind him on that play was senior linebacker Xavier Stevens, who scooped up his second recovered fumble for the night. The Lumberjacks defense came into this game strong, holding MSU to a total of 281 yards. With the momentum changes in this game, the Lumberjacks kept focus and poise and ended up with the key stops against Montana State, making this Big Sky win of the season for the Jacks one to remember.
You're right, Cordero. The Jacks did play phenomenal on Saturday. Supelianu was even named Root Sports Big Sky Defensive Player of the Week. The recognition is the first conference weekly honor for the defensive end this season. Coming off their 20-14 road win against Montana State, the Jacks return home for the big homecoming game of the season. The Lumberjacks will take on the 2-3 Idaho State Bengals Saturday at 4 p.m. in the Sky Dome.